everybody cannot be an entrepreneur. And then as a pastor, I started realizing that we have a lot of young men in our churches today that are virtually jobless. And all they are saying is, I'm an entrepreneur. And then I'm asking myself, what was your turnover last year? You did the whole year. You couldn't do 10,000 Ghana cedi in a whole year. And you say you're an entrepreneur. And you have complimentary card. You say you are CEO. CEO over what? And then the wives are suffering. The children are suffering. They don't have money. Instead of them to humble themselves and go and get a job and have a regular source of income while they are growing their capacity and their value, they are going about with complimentary card and briefcase, calling themselves entrepreneurs. And then I realize that we need to change the narrative. Hello, somebody. So it's very, very important for you to know that everybody cannot be an entrepreneur. There are intrapreneurs today that are rich and wealthy. There are intrapreneurs today that have been able to build a profession. And as professionals, they have become captains of industries. As professionals, they have become high net worth individuals, and they are doing amazingly well. So that is why the book was written, to help you know that you don't need to quit your job to become rich. You don't need to quit your job or quit your profession to become wealthy. But there are things you need to know that will help you to do that. And for the first time in writing, one of the things I did in this book is that I invited 16 other people to join me. Because when I started teaching wealth creation in 1997-98, there were people that were as poor as I was. And we all started the journey together. And I remember that one of them is part of those that wrote his portion of the book. In 1998, when I did my first wealth creation seminar, Building Transgenerational Wealth, 1998, one of the people that wrote in this book was a member of my church. He's still a member of my church. He asked a question. When I was done, he said, Pastor, I have a question, sir. He said, you are spoken massively well. And you are spoken about, oh, start your business. We should go. I said, but sir, I love my career. I love what I'm doing. I don't want to go into business. Is it that I cannot succeed as a professional? He said, I want to be a professional. I want to be at the top of my career. So are you saying that without starting my own business, I cannot become rich and wealthy? And I said, no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you must understand how to create wealth through your career, and there are things you need to do. And today is one of the wealthy people that wrote in that book. So I did not just write the book to talk to you about how to create wealth as a career person. I also documented testimonials of career professionals, some of them medical people, some of them in civil service, some of them in different walks of life, and they have produced wealth. And they share their story, how they met me, what they heard, how they practice it, their journey, and where they are today, and the kind of wealth that they have been able to acquire, so that you will know that number one, the things that are being shared are not theory, and number two, there are people alive today already working in that realm. Why should you not be one of them? So between today and tomorrow, I want to share with you on how to create wealth as a career person. Because in Africa today, majority of people on the continent are salary earners. And many times, instead of them being committed to learning how to create wealth, even within that their profession, they are continually looking for what is not lost. So in order for you to create wealth as a career person, there are 10 simple things that you need to understand and apply. And I want to see if I can give you 5 tonight. And then tomorrow night we'll wrap it up and then we'll go into the supernatural as we begin to pray. Number 1, if you're going to create wealth as a career person, the first thing that will help you is start early. Start early. Start early. Listen, I said to them in the morning, on the 31st of October this year, Thursday 31st, and Friday 1st of November, I'm going to be celebrating 35 years in full-time ministry. So it's been 35 years doing the work of a pastor, doing the work of ministry. I've been in the church 38 years. For 35 of those years, I've been in ministry. And I can tell you for free, I've written a book now that will be released during that event. It's called Ministers, Mistakes, and Ministries. Unveiling mistakes that ministers make that hinder them from longevity. And in that book, I shared on what I call the secret of my journey. And one of the things I believe has helped me as an individual is I started very early. I got born again as a teenager. By the age of 21, I was already a pastor. When many people were still confused about life. Do you know that today there are 30-year-old people telling you, Pastor, how can I discover God's purpose for my life at 30? At 30. Over a quarter of a century of your life is gone. You are still confused. So if you want to create what as a career person, number 1, start early. If you say you want to be an accountant, settle down. Go to school, study the accounting, do chartered accountant, do ACCA, and sit down there and focus. But when you don't start early, you are already on the wrong trajectory. And why do you need to do that? Now listen, you see, in the marketplace, there's what we call the pyramid of career progression and the pyramid of marketplace promotion. Now, in the marketplace, when you look at the salary scale, you have what we call the junior staff, you have middle management, and then you have senior management. Listen and listen well. Majority of people in the workforce today are in junior management. Majority of people, you see them wake up very early, like the Bible says, in vain do they wake up very early in the morning, they come back late at night to still come and eat the bread of sorrow. Every day people are doing. By the time you see all their labor, when you ask them how much do you earn, you'll be shocked that you mean this is what you are laboring for. But that's the reality. So many people are at that bottom. Now listen, for you to begin to earn something serious, and for you to begin to have some other leverages that will help you to become wealthy, you have to move into what we call the senior management. And before you can get there, you need an average of 10 to 15 years of productive engagement in that sector to get there. That's why you should start early. Because when you start as a trainee or you start as a junior staff, you may end up remaining at that junior level for the next 7 years. So imagine now that you are now starting at 35. Because these are the reasons why people are poor. Because if you start out as a trainee, by the time you get out of school, you are in your 20s. You are maybe 21, 22. You are less than 25. So you start out. If you start out at that point and you commit to that part of your life, by the time you are 35, 40, you're already in senior management. And you are earning well. Because see, at that point when you are just starting, are you ready for this? You are most likely not married. Most likely not having children. Your responsibilities are lower. Do you understand that? But by the time you start late, you will realize that the load you are carrying will be too much for the income you are making. And that's why things begin to go off key. Because by the time you are collecting money and you have 6 mouths to feed, and the money is not even enough for you because the take home cannot take you home, and now you have to take 6 people home with you, there will be trouble. So number one, start early. Someone say start early. Start early. So please, I beg you, you have only one life to live. And if you live it well, one life is enough. So start early. All this, I don't know, I don't know what I want to do with my life, but I know that God is in control. God will do it. All this religious slogan, all this religious mindset that has kept you in poverty, you need to do away with it. Christianity is not a religion. Hello? Religion is more dangerous than the devil, and it will ruin your life. Christianity is not a religion, it's a relationship with your creator. So all this, God is in control. God is not in control of what he has given you power to control. Hello? So you need to wake up and discover what is his vision for your life. And I tell you for free, everybody goes through seasons. As a matter of fact, there are 4 seasons in the life of every individual. The morning season, the afternoon season, the evening season, and the night season. The first 25 years of your life is the morning season of your life. And the morning season is for learning. You are supposed to learn everything you need to learn within the morning. The next 25 years of your life is the afternoon season of your life, and that's the season for earning. When you don't learn what you are supposed to learn in the morning, you will not be able to earn effectively in the afternoon, and your life will be made up of catch up. You'll be playing catch up. By the time you get into the evening of your life, 51 to 75, is the time for turning and mentorship. When you are supposed to be turning around and mentoring the next generation, but most of the time you are going to end up becoming the tormentors of the morning of your children. Why? Because your own morning and afternoon has been messed up. And that's why in this part of the world we have black tax. Many of you right now, the greatest burden of your life is how to take care of your parents. And that's not scriptural. The Bible says it is not children that lay up for the parents. It is parents that lay up for the children. But because somewhere along the line, in the arrangement of your family, something has not been done right. And you now find out that your parents are in the evening and they are trusting you to use your own money to take care of their evening. So we have a lot of people carrying load that is bigger than them. And no matter how fast you are, you can never outrun people that cannot run as fast as you when the load you are carrying is bigger than their load. If you are carrying 100 kg load, even if you are the fastest runner, you are going to lose that race. Why? Because of the load you are carrying. So many people have become victims of the mismanagement of seasons. So when I see a lot of young people thinking they are still young, hello, you are not young. If you are listening to me right now, you are 25. And you are not gainfully employed. You don't even have certificates. You don't even have any skill that can produce money in the marketplace. Hello? Time is already against you. 25 years is a quarter of a century. A quarter of a century in your life is already gone. Hello? So you cannot be thinking, I'm young. No. You are not young. At 25, there are people that are already running conglomerates. Hello? At 25, there are people doing what? Running conglomerate. At 25, there are people handling the resources of nations. So you see a lot of young people today now, even in school, they go there, they are not ready to read. Instead of it to go to the library, you want to know how many girls hosted do we have? Are you there for girls? So you see a lot of people now, they know how to start a relationship, but they don't know how to start a business. They know how to start a relationship, they don't know how to start ministry. Why? Because something is wrong somewhere. So number one, start early. Don't let anybody tell you you are young. You are not young. Nobody grows young. Nobody grows young. Everybody grows old. Every day you wake up, time is going. Look, you see, I said in the morning, people can deceive you and it can be excuse. When you start deceiving yourself, you are deluded. It's called delusion. Listen to me. You can medicate it, you can pancake it, you can costate it, you can spandex it, you can deceive you, and they can tell you, girl, you're 50, but you look 30. It's a lie. It's a lie. You know that you are not young. You know that what you can do before you can no more do. So start. Number two. The second thing that will help you is once you start early, give it all it takes. Give it all it takes. The amazing thing is that a lot of people are employed now. When they were coming into the employment, they begged to apply. Once they have finally gotten the job, they become disloyal, they become disgruntled, they are now forming union. And you are asking yourself, you just beg for this job. Man of God, one of our ministers, some of the stories we see as pastors is very painful. One of our ministers just suddenly woke up one day. He had a job, correct salary. Just woke up one day and resigned from the job that he wanted to travel. Why do you need to resign to travel? Won't you get visa first? He resigned from a good job in a global conglomerate, a global brand, and went to embassy without even getting a letter from a global brand where he worked. Hello? So they didn't give him visa. Of course, frustration setting now. No job, no visa. Okay, let's see how we can help this guy. Since he's anointed, let's bring him into ministry and then, we put him on payroll. And everything was going on fine again. The next thing, he comes up again. God has called him to go somewhere. What is wrong with this? Okay, bye-bye. We released him. And then one level of suffering after the other. And then one day he calls, Daddy, I'm coming back home. God has told me to return. God has told me to return. Because many times people think that it is easy. Go and start. So I said, no problem. You are his son. You have not done anything wrong. So return. So the guy returns. But I said, now that you are returned, we cannot engage you. We can't use job to do welfare. No. So you have to go and look for a job by yourself. Oh, Papa, pray for me. So I pray for him. And then he called me one or 2 weeks later. Sir, he's working. What's the problem? He said, I have 3 offers now. 3 offers. I said, wonderful. Pick one by the Spirit. So he picked one. Managing a major hotel. I even went to the hotel to sleep. He was, I went there, so wonderful. And then 2 months later, Papa, they have sacked me. What did you do? You that were begging for a job. He said, we're in a meeting, and then I had to tell them they have to treat the staff right. You are going to do union. In a job you just got, less than 2 months. People that have been there for 8 years did not talk. You got there, you are now forming union. If it was easy to start a business, why did your father not start one? If it was easy to start it, why did your mother or your grandfather not start one and employ you? You went to school, now you come out, you are looking for a job. Who should create the job? Now you finally get the job. Instead of it to be humble, somebody is giving you salary, putting food on your table, paying your rent, taking care of your family. Instead of it to humbly serve the person and serve that organization with commitment, like a biblical Joseph, you are forming union. Hello? You have no idea what entrepreneurship is all about. Sometimes you will not pay yourself, you will pay people. Sometimes you go and take money from other businesses to pay people, and they will still be telling you the salary is not enough.